Hello, welcome to this week's podcast. This week we learn about Jamie's UTurn with his business idea, and I explain more about how I'm approaching the design side of the business before we launch. Jamie, your business idea was kicking off last week. Now let's get an update this week where you're at and understand what your next steps are.
Thanks, Gregor. Yeah, so business completely U-turned. After speaking to Scott, who was the business idea I've kind of piggybacked off, I took a lot of ideas from him and was going down a similar route to the watch straps, looking at sort of creating a website. I'd started the process, started looking at ordering sort of products. I've had to do a quick U-turn. After speaking to Scott sort of like mid last week, basically I found out that the business he was doing is staying on. I'd reached out to him for a bit of support to see about sort of advice, and he'd let me know that the business that he was obviously planning to stop for going to college is now continuing as sort of income for throughout that period of time. So what I've had to do is put a halt to where I was. I felt morally sort of a bit wrong copying someone's, family friend, and I thought it just didn't sit right with me. So what I've done is completely done a U-turn. I'm now in the hunt, so I've kept the sort of website. I think the layout of the website I've done is good. I've had to get rid of the website, sort of domain that I've purchased. It was only £1. That's completely fine, and I hadn't paid anything for Shopify yet. So my plan is now to find a new product. I'm thinking what I should do is do something I'm passionate about. So I am looking into golfing products currently at the moment. I'm thinking, obviously golf season's come to an end, but my thought process is if I can maybe try and get something set up for Christmas time, that's where I'm sort of going with, hoping to go down that sort of route. But I had to do a complete U-turn. If you're to be completely honest, I've not done a lot on it in the last week, which is something I would like to discuss with you guys. Like I'm kind of hit like a roadblock and where I'm at with it. But I have still got stuff there. I'm looking to still do something with it, but I've hit a block.
Cool. It's actually interesting you mentioned golf, Jamie, because I was on social media browsing about, and I get it wasn't an ad, but it's almost like one of these accounts which then share a whole bunch of other information, and it was golf related, this one, and I actually screenshotted what it was just because I thought actually that could be like you could make that into something like a little business or something. It's relevant to golf. I thought it was quite interesting, and like as a golfer, we're kind of like, I thought, oh, that would make quite a nice gift as someone who maybe is getting started in golf or has been golfing for a while. Basically, it's like a chest. This video is a massive chest, and the person opens it up, and it's basically just got everything you need for like stocking up for a round of golf. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I go and play golf, I've got stuff in my golf bag, and that's kind of it. I don't really store it anywhere. But when we're at home, it's in multiple drawers, it's everywhere. I don't quite know where things are. And it's kind of like hard to maybe find things that you need to just pick out straight away. Um, Speaking to James and going down there and seeing him, it's kind of like a similar sort of vibe. Okay, you need space for this chest, but as a gift, like say this doesn't have to be massive, but say it had like quality, everything you need, like your standard like tees, golf balls, maybe some extra gloves, but all in one package that give you like almost like a starting pack to the season. Is that kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah, obviously it's maybe not one product that you're expecting, like, buy one product, get it shipped in, sell it, and it's goes that way, but it's maybe a bit more work. Just thought that was quite interesting.
That's
For
quite
me,
cool.
Jimmy. Yeah. What's
I
your
think
thought? I don't know.
my key thought of that is, I still have that thing of like the product has to be small, thin, light, um, for storage. As I still live in a 2 bed flat that I know one's an office, one's a bedroom, and I've got a living plus kitchen area, so I've not got a huge amount of space to store a chest or multiple
Yeah,
chests.
no,
All,
that's
all being the profit margin might work out better. You might sell one chest, and instead of that chest is maybe you sell it for £100, and
yeah,
it's only cost you maybe £30 to £40 to put everything in
yeah,
it. But my still thing is still try to be small. Thinking of gloves, tees, having them separate. And okay, I can have a gloves box, I can have a tee box, I can have unique golf balls box, and just have it as like a sort of a gift store sort of style. People are getting ready to buy stuff and just gift wrap it maybe, or
yeah.
that's
Fair
maybe what I'm
enough.
going down.
That makes sense, and I see where you're coming from, and I get that. Speaking to Scott about his idea, how it's, uh, watch straps and very easy to ship in store. So yeah, to go down that route again, I think makes sense, and obviously maybe go back to Scott's how he actually analyzed the market and got his idea,
Yeah,
using those methods again rather than being like, oh, I'm passionate about something. You could obviously narrow it down. You don't want to be selling, I don't know, dolls of some sort, but there's always going to be a product there that you could obviously target.
yeah,
Other point making, have you heard of I think it's called the Crumpet or Crimpet? Basically, it's like, say that you want to make a toasty, but in a toaster. Basically, it gives it's just slightly smaller than a slice of bread, and it's got two sides, and it closes together really tightly. So what the way it works is you put your slice of bread in, and then you fill that slice of bread in with, like, all the ingredients you want. Maybe you put in a toasty, or maybe stuff you put on a pizza toppings, and then you put the other slice of bread on top. So now you've got like a sandwich, right? But the ingredients inside need to be cooked. So when you put the other lid on this crumpet thing, it squeezes it down and it actually makes it almost into like a pastry. It's like squeezed at the sides, so it's like locked in. You can see the middle bit is quite filled with all your ingredients, and it's obviously squeeze it down enough that you can fit it into a toaster. So the way it works, you just put it into a toaster, and then you basically got a toasty from well, we used to buy, well, we had those like bags for like
yeah.
uh
So it's similar to
toasting,
that concept,
similar
but
to that, but
it
yeah.
squeezes it down so it's ready to just automatically go into a toaster.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got, loads of followers on Instagram where I found it. And I'm like, such a simple idea, not too expensive. And like, if you create a little brand around it, and it's obviously content wise is really easy because you're just making
Food, which
toasties.
people
Yeah,
love.
yeah, which people love seeing. So yeah, I thought it was quite interesting.
That's interesting. That's quite cool. So, Gary, obviously, that's a little bit about me. This is that small update. I'm going to push on. I think the key thing for me is, as you say, doing the research, spend a bit of time figuring out what product and making sure it's a viable product that will sell. I don't want to spend £1,000 on stock that it sits here for 6 months to a year. You want to try and get it, every couple of months, be buying new stock. So there's a
And
little
that's
bit of
part of
time and effort that needs to go in, basically.
yeah, that's part of the planning. And obviously, you can do the best planning in the world for that, but obviously, just testing it as well makes sense. You obviously said about Christmas. Christmas is coming up soon. Delivery times, getting stuff to UK from abroad, and all those sort of lead times. It's really
Yeah,
timing right now if you're trying to do
100%.
that. So you know, for you to get products to UK and to ship it to someone, once it's in the UK, a couple of days to ship it out to someone. So it's actually just that lead time of getting it to UK and obviously marketing it. So yeah, I think you've got time, but squeaky bum time is what they call it, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Um, okay, so Gregor, what about you? What's going on with your side hustle? What are you doing?
Me, I'm continuing with that pizza idea. Obviously, maybe not the best timing in the world to start trying to advertise making pizzas outside and or inside or under shelter or something outside, right? But the pizza ovens that you would use to sell them, I actually saw them doing some ads online, kind of like advertising, like, oh, why not have Christmas pizza fun sort of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So they're still obviously investing in
Chargeable.
advertising this time of year and stuff, and makes a good Christmas gift. But my idea is thinking, if I do start, basically I'm still designing the website. I've got a design down that I think I'm kind of more happy with. And the reason I'm spending more time on this is because I think that's important. And to be honest, you could easily put up like a landing page and go for it. But I think just that little bit of effort on the marketing side and the marketing website will
Yeah.
help. So that's kind of in a place. Next stage is basically sort of build the website using a no code builder, which I've used in the past and should be fairly straightforward once I have the designs, which I'm using Figma for. Anybody interested in Figma as a design tool is really good. Yeah,
Really
that's where
hard
I'm
to
at.
get your
So
head around.
it is initially, but anything is. But
Yeah.
as soon as you figure it out, it's generally such a great tool, and you can use it for free. Like, you
Yeah.
don't actually need to pay anything to use what a great tool is. So highly
Good.
recommend that if anybody in the design space.
Well, it sounds like I'm glad. I think the key thing from when we've had discussions, and one of the things with this new style podcast is being, the mindset. It's about being positive about it, and it sounds good. We're both, as much as we've hit roadblocks, myself, well, I've hit a roadblock, and you're obviously me creating the next steps. It sounds positive. We're both thinking about it. We're both trying to do something, and we've both got busy lives, which is still have to be understandable. So yeah, good. It sounds like we're both still doing something. We're still in the right place. As much as our dad will be like going to you, why have you no posted on
It's more.
social media,
It's
or why have you no
yeah,
done this? Why have you no done that?
yeah, of
It
course.
doesn't matter. It's as long as we're doing something small steps, a step's a step. And I've maybe gone 4 steps forward and 2 steps back, but it happens.
Yeah, and I also think we should maybe try to convey what you did um, stepwise for, obviously as well. Right, easy to say right now what you did, right? But as learnings, I think you've explained it fairly well. But diving a bit more into like what made you want to do that in the first place, so kind of conveying that more, and obviously planning for your next product, whatever, like literally kind of going into more depth of like why you've actually done that and how you've done it. I think would be good. Thanks for doing that, Jamie. So we will obviously next week you'll dive more into what your learnings and hopefully have more learnings to share and kind of just maybe explain step by step of what you've done, because I think that'd be useful, and that'd be useful for us to kind of explain and kind of guide how understand what the next step should be. Do you have a kind of timeline or goal for next week? I know that's something that we tried to do in the past.
Yeah, I think for this coming week, I think if I can find a product, I really want to try and this coming week spend a bit of time and research on trying to find maybe like a list of products that I think would be good. I even put it forward on the podcast to the guys listeners and you, Gregor, and probably family as well, and just see what people's consensus are of what they think, as well as the research, and just go down that route, because what realistically needs to happen is I have to find a product pretty quickly. As you say, stock and trying to buy stuff and get it in time is the key issue. So that's my next steps.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, let's catch up next week and look forward to your update on next week's podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.